All right. Hey, everybody. How you doing? I'm coming to you live from just out in the outskirts of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, a little town called Sugarloaf, about 2.5 hours outside the epicenter of COVID-19 as far as New York and New York City is concerned. And what we've been doing here is building face masks, PPE, for the registered nurses at Lehigh Valley Hospital in the intensive care unit. They're treating COVID patients. They have a shortage of personal protective equipment. So, what we decided to do, instead of getting upset about it, we decided to take and do something about it and make some of these face masks so the nurses have the required personal protective equipment. So, the backstory on this is Joey Provanzo. He's my cohort and accomplice in crime. And the backstory here was that Joey's wife Alicia is also my stepdaughter, and she brought to our attention this week that there was a shortage of PPE for the nurses at the hospital. So we decided to take and get some items that we could take and fashion into the appropriate personal protective equipment, a face mask that she needed so she could do her job in the intensive care unit with these COVID patients. So, the components of this mask are just a piece of Lexan that we took and cut as many of them as we could out of a 4x8 sheet. You can see how thin that is. That's less than a 32nd of an inch thick. Some air conditioning weather seal, which is what's used as the headband or the cushion so it doesn't dig into your forehead. And there's also a piece of elastic that we fashioned and cut to length and stapled on in order to hold it in place on your head. And that was from your local Joann's Fabrics. And the elastic, sold by the yard, is an 1.5 inch, and it came in a 10-yard roll, which we cut into pieces that were 14 inches in length. Here's a piece right here. Here's a piece of the cushioning. That's the cushioning as it comes out from your local Lowe's. There's some spray adhesive that we used to attach the foam to the piece of Lexan. So how we put this together was, again, we started with the 4x8 sheet and cut 30 pieces out of that 4x8 sheet and used the entire sheet up. Then we rounded off the edges on them. And we have one over here that's ready to go. Joey's taking now and prepping to cut the slots in it in order to take and insert the elastic. That's just a roto-zip tool we use to cut the slot. As you can see, we got a couple of nice little slots cut in there now. And I know that kind of looks a little dangerous, but we are professionals. Joey's a general contractor with Provanzo Incorporated. So he knows what he's doing. And I have an engineering background. So he's just taking and prepping now, cleaning up the edges. So there's no sharp edges. And also, you'll see at the top there, you see where it's kind of scuffed up a little bit. Well, that's where we're getting ready, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But that's where the headband, the styrofoam portion, is glued to. So in order to get a good mechanical bond between the cushioning and the plastic, we took a sanding block and just took and scuffed that up a little bit. Go ahead and run over that a little bit there. Show them. So just taking it right along the edge, just scuff that up a little bit so you get a good mechanical bond with your glue. So he's got that all ready to go now. Take and clean it off a little bit. Now we're going to attach the elastic to the Lexan. And when we're going to attach that with the staple gun. I'm going to apply a couple of staples. Now we have a backer, so those staples sink down into that cardboard backer. So we got to pop them back loose. Then using a pair of needle nose pliers, we'll pinch those down nice and tight so that holds the elastic to the Lexan. Take and stretch it across. Remember what side is scuffed. Stretch it over so it's on your staples are on the inside. I'm going to kind of reach in here a little bit. Try and bend this down a little in order it can get in there with the staple gun. And attach the other side. Same thing. We'll pop it up off here. Get them started bending them over a little bit. And those are 3/8 inch staples. They go through that elastic pretty good. So now that we've got our elastic band on there, Joey's going to take and flip it around here so we can take our foam pad and attach our foam pad to the front. So using the Loctite glue, give a little spritz on there, put a light coating on there, just enough, not too little, not too much. You see how much we got on there. Okay. And then centering it on the Lexan about 1/8 of an inch down from the top of the Lexan, and then press it on. So now we're going to let that one set up a little bit. And that's pretty much all there is to that. So whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, a liberal, or a conservative, we are all Americans and we are all in this together. So whatever you can do to help out your local first responders, nurses, doctors in the area. If there's one thing that Americans are good at, it's good old American can-do know-how and using a few simple things around the area and that you can get at your local hardware store. You can really help out those that are out there on the front lines every day. So this is Joey and Eddie, and we're signing off here. And I hope this is something that you find useful and you can take this and do as you see fit and help out the people that need it the most, which is our frontline first responders and nurses. Thank you all.